Gang, I'm Tim. Welcome back to my garage. So we're working on, Fred, episode 2 of getting this Holley Sniper all installed. So I sat down the other day after we put the intake on, got that all squared away, and I looked at the instructions after I did the intake and everything, and it said in there pretty clear to be sure that the timing was 100% accurate before attempting to put on the Sniper. So I knew the timing was close, but I knew it wasn't accurate. So I kind of went into panic mode. I'm like, oh crap, what do I do? So my first thought was I went and got an adapter plate to go from a square bore to a quadrajet. Brought it home, cut it open, and it works the other way. So it's made to go on a quadrajet to put a square bore on. Yeah, that's what it is. It's made to go from a quadrajet intake to a square bore. So like I looked at it, I could drill it out, do some fabrication, make it work. Then it clicked. Oh yeah, Pepe's T-Bird sitting over here up on jack stands waiting for me to fix the old bird's brakes. But I got a perfectly good square bore carburetor sitting on the T-Bird. So anyway, long story short, I robbed the carburetor, put it on Fred, but I had already blocked off the fuel pump. So I had to take that apart, put the fuel pump back on, get everything hooked back up. But let me show you, I got everything cleaned up and put back together. So, I mean, I could run it like this if I wanted to, but I don't want to because we're doing the Sniper. But everything went great, and boy, she runs good. Let me see if I can start it up through the window because I don't have any of the linkage hooked up. Let's see. Ready? Oh yeah, nice. And one thing I noticed too was this thing, boy, the secondaries open up. Yeah, pretty cool. So I'm happy about that, but now I got to put everything back together. So I take the carburetor off, put it back in the bird, all that good jazz. So that's what I'm going to do. Catch up with y'all in a few when we start the Sniper install. So stand by, see you in a sec. Start the Sniper. All right, it's Saturday morning, time for a fresh start. So the other night, I got everything buttoned back up, got the old fuel pump removed, the block off plate back on, all that good jazz. Started bolting this stuff together. Was able to use the factory throttle and kickdown linkage bracket, and that actually bolted right up. Just had to do a little tweakage, and that's good. So that was sweet. So I'm picked up the little, actually they're right here. I got the little studs for the carburetor for the kickdown and the throttle. So we get those installed, make sure the Sniper's bolted down. And then the next step, we're gonna climb underneath and start the fuel. So that's the first big thing. I think I kind of got it mapped out in my brain, but when we go down underneath, I'll show you what I'm thinking on that, and we'll get that stuff all installed. So for now, let's button this up before we climb underneath and tackle the fuel. Okay, let's go. Well, all right, we got everything put together. So we got all the, let me bring you on in here. Got all the linkages hooked up. The old kick down, where is it? There it is. The old kick down's hooked up. Got all the vacuum lines in the back there all set. Now we're gonna go, I'm gonna put my zoot suit on, and you can see it's kind of messy right now, all the wires strewn around. But I'm gonna put my zoot suit on, crawl underneath Fred, and let's dig into the fuel because it's the next big thing. The wiring will be easy, at least I think so. It seems to be. So we'll dive underneath. I'll show you what's going on with the fuel, and let's get that fuel system put together. I got Fred up on the lift, also known as the floor jack and jack stands for me. But I'm going to show you what we got going on and what I'm thinking. So my system, so you got to have this return line. So I hope I'm going to do this right. We're going to find out. But this one here has a 3-port what you call it, sending unit, filler, doodatter. So It says we got one for the vent for the charcoal canister, a return line, and the, of course, 3/8 fuel line. So my thoughts are, and I hope it's gonna work out, we'll see. But I'm gonna reuse that return line, leave the vent hooked up to the charcoal canister, and then of course use the 3/8. So I'm thinking we should be okay up to the fuel filter, because that's the low side, low pressure side. The high pressure side, we're gonna swap over and hit the, you know, all the new hose and the fuel injection clamps, all that stuff to withstand whatever it is, 60, 70 pounds of pressure that's there. I don't know, something like that. But, so that's my thoughts. So what I'm thinking is, I'm gonna leave all this over to here. All right, so this is my thought. I'm gonna pull these lines so you come across from the old Tankeroni, come down, up, over to here. So I'm gonna pull the one for the return, pull the one for the fuel supply, and then take all that stuff out all the way up, because I don't think it's good. And then melt right there, melt the fuel pump and after filter, and I'll probably put the pre-filter like up in this area somewhere. So I'm gonna take all that apart, get rid of that stuff, and then we'll have a couple of fuel lines hanging there, and then we'll start building. All right, let's dig in. I'll get this big dog mounted up in here. Okie dokie, Smokey, here we are. See if we can find good spots to put this stuff. Need clampage. Okay. Cut about that much off. I don't know what kind of bird that is out there, but every time I hear it, all I can think of is it saying, like the old Saturday Night Live, cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger. It's just funny. Okay, now we've got this other fancy filter here, like the super microns. That way. But I was just kind of thinking of doing something like this. So I need like a 4-inch piece, and then we'll go whoop up over into the engine bay. Always put your thumb right in front of it so you slice it off like a ding dong. Okay. Oh, clampage. Forget the clampage. A little thunder from down under. Up above in the engine bay there, and bring it down, hook it up. I was contemplating using some steel line, but man, there ain't that much to go. So I'll probably just keep the rubber. Let's go get some straps after, make sure we strap it up really good. There's like a bracket that's welded to the body, part of the body. It's just a, so I'm gonna tuck this fuel line inside of that to keep it up in the body, and then I'll strap it up above there. But it's a pretty sweet little, I don't know what the intent was for, but it's like just the right width for this pipe to come down, I think. Perfect. Looking good in the neighborhood. Up out of the way like that, and it'll be good. I think we're there. All right, I'm gonna go cut this off up above and run down, drop it back down for the old return. Just want to bring you under here, show you. So I got this all together. So we just got to go to the old supply house and get some the insulated 1-hole straps to get that thing strapped in, so it's not flopping around like crazy. But it came out good. Once we get all the stuff strapped back in, it'll be awesome. So we're gonna roll on out of here if I can. Let me see. So we'll get the oxygen sensor in now. Next step. Down underneath and pop this O2 sensor in. And if you've seen this before, it looks pretty simple, Pop a 3/4 inch hole in there. It's got these a little flange, clamp it in, good to go. So it should be pretty straightforward. Find a good spot where we can get an angle. They said to make sure you put it at least, I don't know, whatever it was, but you can't do it horizontally. It's got to be up on an angle. So should be no problem. We have plenty of room under here. Let's go drill a hole and pop this critter in. All right, let's go. Okay, that's better. Sparks are flying. Whew. Last thing you need is the old unibit to fall in. That'd be VB. Wrench, tighten this up. We'll be good to go. Awesome. Well, it's time to start the electrics. Not really sure where to begin. I'm going to dive into the instructions a little bit more. I know the old computer box here, I want to put that in the truck. So we'll get this, we'll find a place through the firewall where we can send this critter through. And then got the main harness. There's some others, but I'm going to look at the instructions a little more, and then I'll bring you in. Like, I got this one. Not even sure if I use this one, but I got to find out. I'll dig into it. Awful lot of wires, but I don't think we use this many. So, I guess, let's go. Figure it out. Well, I unbuttoned everything to see what we're dealing with here. Trying to take it off in like little bites here. But I think we've got some of it kind of handled. This seems pretty straightforward. Got a doodadder. Actually, what I did is I found a hole in the firewall and I got the CAN bus connector through. So I was able to get through an existing grommet, so that was good. Get that up through, so I'll route that around, get that up here. It's nice, find the other end of that one. That looks like it there. So get this where I want it to be. So I don't want it to be like a sloppy mess either. I'll make sure this is nice and neat. Fancy Fred wants to be neat. So bring this back here. All right, I think what I'll do is I'll get this plugged together, and I'm just going to coil up the extra back here in the back of the firewall. They sure make it easy, I gotta say, really. They really do. Like this crazy mess here. Trying to keep everything nice and tight. Remember to twist the tails off your tie wraps, so you don't slice your old arms up when you go digging in there the next time. So we got this happy little critter here. Oh, that's an easy one. That's for the water sensor here. The little water temperature sensor. We plug that bad dog right in. Super easy. Love it. Okay. Get that out of there. We'll have to safe off this choke wire because I don't think we're going to need that. And then now we've got these two critters. Let's see what we've got left. That one. Okay, so that's a match. So now we just got to route it. Probably up, back, over. Seems like they got quite a bit of length. We can mount these relays over here somewhere. Train the power wires over. So let me. All right, well, I got that cables, that harness over there. I'm gonna screw this in the back there, but put a little happy blanket over there. And I figured I'm just gonna zing a couple self-tappers in here. These relays mounted. Oh, son of a biscuit. Really? All right, it's straight. Look at that, it's a thing of beauty. All right, so what I think I'll do is I'm gonna get the The fuel pump wire down there, I'll get that in a loom. And then the battery. How much do I have? Do I have enough? Barely. Oh, booger. I should have looked at that first. I don't really have enough to do what I want to do. I might have to move that. Now I got 2 stinking holes in there. Oh, you big dummy. All right, well, undo. Okay, that's good. You know what I'll do? Is I've got some straps. I'll put some strapperonis on there to make it look like it wasn't a mistake. Sounds like a good plan to me. All right, so I'm gonna attack this, and I'll see you in a second. I think we did it. So I'll show you exactly what I just finished up in here wiring wise. And there's a whole nother harness for a bunch of accessories that I don't need. Like there's an AC kick in there, on, off. I'm not sure if that's something that I'm gonna need once I get the AC going. But as of right now, I don't need it. Tack output, I don't have a tack yet. So there's some stuff in the future I may need. But for now, there's nothing in this extra harness that I'm currently need. So I'll show you, let me bring you in here and show you what I did. And I think it came out pretty decent for what it is. I got a little bit of a mess in the back there. But, you know, for kind of dealing with what I'm dealing with, right here I have a knot of wires that was something from the factory. I'm not sure, you know, if it was for some, this truck had that electronic control module, so I'm not sure if that was something associated with that. And then there's this other doodatter here, which is almost like a piece of instrument cable that I've got to figure out what that used to go to. Again, I'm not sure if it's something to do with the AC. But I got everything mounted up there, got those clamps in there, so my mistake is gone. It's no longer a mistake. And I routed the positive, negative over, got it all loomed up, ready to rock and roll here. And I got these happy little stud extension doodads. So we can put the battery, attach the battery back in and connect right to there. So we're gonna do that in a sec. So that's ready to go. So that's all set. The fuel pump is wired in, good. I got the fuel lines tucked against the firewall coming across. And I've got to put one more, I'm gonna route this up like this. And then I think I gotta do a little bit more trimming. I'll fine tune this, but that's kind of my plan, is to get this back there. I wanted to flush the line out first. So before I hook this up, run the fuel pump a couple times and get that critter all flushed out. So yeah, I mean, I think we're together. I think it's ready to go. Oh, I gotta put this in. I got an extra ground just because. So I'm gonna throw that in real quick. Right here. Just right now, the only negative is going to the bracket, and I'm gonna take it from there and just go down to the frame just because. But yeah. So, in a second, we'll go through the programming, the fancy computer. We'll throw this ground on and we'll do that. See what happens. All right. We got everything all buttoned up. Power's on. The dome light's on. So now we just got to program the sniper. And then we got to flush the fuel real quick. And then we'll give it the first start. So, turn the old key on here. Seems to be pretty simple. Well, I see a blink. It's doing something. I'll take my glasses off so I can see. Looks like it's loading up. Doing a lot of beep, 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 beep. Waiting for it to show the programming screen here. Give it another second. If it doesn't boot up, I'm gonna have to go look at the directions again. All right, stand by. I'll look at the directions. Make sure I don't have to hit one of these windows. Took a peek at the old instructions. You're supposed to hit wizard. So I missed that point. So you hit the wizard, There it is. The type, back. Next, number of cylinders, 8. Next, 10. So that's the engine displacement, so it's a 350. Maybe it's my finger. Well, you know what? Stand by. Hold on. Got the stylus. I forgot they had given me a stylus. Oh, yeah, that works much better. It's touchy though. Wow, see that? Is that close enough? Let me try to get 350. I'll probably regret it. Okay, so if you hit the little arrows up here, 355. Nope, it's not 30 over. There we go, 350. Next, target idle speed. Let's go for 850. 850, that was easy. Next, cam, stock. Next, nitrous oxide. No. Coil. Start. Making its magic program. Right, after that calamity. So I wanted to flush the system out, but I didn't have a hose in the old gas can yet. And I wasn't expecting the fuel pump to kick on right away. I thought I had to cycle the key before it did. Well, it doesn't. But crisis averted, we're all good. Everything's good. So let's turn this back on. Sounds good. ECU overview. Vitals. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. The battery volt's getting a little low. 11.9, 11.8. No learn. Stall. Temperature's reading. Let's go through this pre-start checklist. So I'm gonna dig into this. I'll come back in a minute and we'll see what I figure out here. And then we'll do the first start. Okay, see you in a sec. Go to the monitors menu and then hit monitors again, and then there's an initial start menu. So that's where we're at now. We're at this initial start menu. And I checked everything, all the fuel, make sure we didn't have any leaks. So I think it's time to start the engine. I'm really nervous. It says with the handheld still in the initial startup menu, crank the engine and look at the RPM parameter. It should change to syncing, indicating the ECU is syncing with the RPM signal for an instant, then show an RPM signal. The engine should fire and run and come to an idle. Let's do it. Sounds good. That'll do its thing. I'm gonna check the engine. Good. Checking for fuel leak. Yep, stuck. Well, gang, I'm going to call it a success. I got a little nervous, borrowing trouble, which you should never do, but I read the instructions some more, went through all the parameters, had to cycle the power on and off again. And man, is she running like a champ. So I can't wait. Tomorrow morning, it's getting kind of late out. It's dark. It's, I don't know, 9 o'clock. I've had enough. Been busting in here all day. But we're in a good place. So we'll catch you in the morning. Just a couple seconds. We'll take Fred out for for a little cruise. I just got to tighten up a couple things and we'll be ready to go. All right, see you then. Bye. Okay, I took Gold Fred for a ride a little while ago and it didn't perform that great. So I just did a little researching and I think I have the timing advanced a bit. So that's a little bit of an issue. So I'm going to readjust the timing. And then also I couldn't throttle, like it wouldn't go. So I checked the throttle and the kickdown evidently is too far back. So I couldn't maybe get like a quarter throttle. So that's a big problem. So I disconnected the kickdown for now. So we'll have to readjust that bracket, get different brackets, whatever we got to do to move that forward. So that's one thing that's easy to take care of. But adjust the timing, and then I'm going to go back and look at the programming, see if there's anything we missed. We'll see what we can find. But didn't perform very well the first run, but we'll figure out what's going on here. So let's dive in. We did a couple things. Checked the timing, and it seemed to be okay. I gave it a scooch more advance. I was at 12 degrees. I don't know, probably at like 16. I'm not sure if that's good or not. We'll find out. So I scooched that ahead, but I had a hell of a vacuum leak, and the RPM started going crazy, like super high. So I just ran down to Riley's and got a thick square bore gasket. I don't know if you can see it in there. It's super sunny out. But I got the thick gasket, and it seems to be doing all right. So the throttle response is there, at least in the driveway, and the RPMs are where we want them to be. So let's go take it for a ride and see what we can do. See how it is. We'll find out soon. Come on, Fred. Be good to us. Primage. Uh-oh. No data. That's not Reno. Alright, back under the hood we go. Well, I don't know what happened, but when I went to go start it, there was no readings from the ECU. So I disconnected the power and everything, rebooted it, and everything seems to be fine. So let's just kind of go for a little ride. See if I come back and need the trailer or not. I'm a little nervous. It's already better than it was this morning. Well, gang, we're cruising. So it didn't seem to be running that great, and I ran into one of my neighbors. It was a major hot rodder, and he told me, get out there and run it. This Sniper, you got to drive it, and it will kind of learn itself as you drive. So that's what we're doing, and man, it's definitely running great. It's pretty incredible what a difference it is. Definitely that gasket was a problem. So that was a huge problem. So I don't know, maybe because I used that thin gasket when I put the carburetor on it, that might have honked things up a little bit, but I don't know, nonetheless, we're up and running. So I'm gonna pull back out to this main road over here, and I'm gonna give it some juice and see if you can hear it. Then we'll head on back to the ranch. Let's go. All right, all is clear. So let's give it some juice. See if you can listen to it here. Definitely a huge difference. Runs great. Made it back to the ranch. Running like a dream. I guess I gotta keep on running it like my neighbor friend told me. Did like 20 miles or so today. Keep on running it. Hopefully the fuel economy is better than the half a tank it said I used today. So hopefully that gas gauge is off. We'll find out, because if not, it's gonna cost us like half a fortune to do hot rod power tour if 20 miles takes a half a tank. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I think we're gonna close this video out. The Sniper is in, it's running good. I just gotta keep on running it. Fine tune the timing maybe a little bit. That's about it. But hey, appreciate y'all watching. Like, subscribe, all that good jazz if you can. I really appreciate it. And this weekend, we're heading to the Battle in Bama over in Mobile, Alabama. So if you're there, make sure you holler at me. I'd like to meet you. And if not, check it out on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Battle in Bama, it's gonna be a pretty amazing time. So hopefully we'll see you there. If not, we'll catch you next time. Y'all take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.